agreements, like for example in Bosnia-Herzegovina, the Dayton Peace Accord, or Syria, Sierra Leone, not Syria, Sierra Leone, and many other African countries had solutions. So in places like in Cyprus, North and South Cyprus, there is the UN mission in the borders. And even in the Golan Heights, beyond certain places, the Security Council maintains peace and stability. So the big donors in this UN are United States and the Western Bloc, I do agree. And the developing countries are contributing less. So when a country's contribution share is more, they will have more authority in the administration of the UN, key positions. So these things are creating unnecessary problems where UN cannot maintain neutrality in certain places. But I believe even Syria, there is Russia, there is United States and the Western countries, still they couldn't do anything. They couldn't invade Syria, the parties that you're mentioning. But in Iraq, this happened so many years ago, because Iraq invaded Kuwait, and the Security Council passed a resolution, and it was given authority to all these allied forces to invade.
Talking about international relations,
yeah.
Let's talk about the disagreement between America and Russia on the issue of Ukraine. What's your view on this serious issue that the world is facing right now?
Of course, yeah, it's a very complex issue, and I would say at this moment, the big players in this complex territory, they have to maintain patience, and they should not get excited and get into conflicts. Small efforts on diplomacy should be maintained. Contact groups should be maintained. And I would think the Crimea problem and Ukraine's territorial integrity can be safeguarded through diplomatic dialogue and forums. I am sure Russia and US are in the process of delivering these things with the European Union, and within few months I would see a solution.
Yeah. Talking about Ukraine, to be very honest, it's a
complex problem.
It's a very serious issue the world is facing right now, and America and Western countries, other Western powerful countries on one side, and Russia is on one side, and Russia says that Ukraine's overthrown president requested Russia to help, So that is the reason right now. That is what they're doing in Crimea, Ukraine's region of in Crimea. So what do you think?
What I think, there are different opinions from different parties. As I said, it's a complex problem over there. So many parties are involved because Ukraine is kind of the gateway to Russia, and also surrounded by European countries. And also European countries depend on gas from Russia. So either way, vice versa, they depend. So I would say the diplomatic channels are the best way to go for a solution in this matter without confronting each other.
Do you think the European countries, EU as a whole, would be hesitant to, about the sanctions, even though America really won't sanction Russia? But do you think the EU will be very much hesitant because of this Russian gas and other important financial, business they're doing in London? Well, London is one of the financial capital in the world. Russian businesses are there. So do you think EU will be a little bit on, not that much as America is doing right now? What's your belief in that?
My opinion personally is I would think that Russians, Scandinavians, as well as the European Union will go for a solution very soon with the Crimea problem and with the territorial integrity of Ukraine. As far as America is concerned about this, it will be, they're geographically far away, so it is it's a Europe problem. So Europeans will have to solve their problem. Outside interference will have micro level impact on this matter. The neighbors will be the first one to solve it in a very simple format. So I would see a solution because gas is supplied from Russia to Europe, as well as Russia knows the complicated scenario by sending forces to Crimea. So this has to be solved between in a very united manner. That's why I said small contact groups with forums, with diplomatical effort, this thing can be solved, and it will be solved. They are quite capable of solving this thing. Yeah.
Look, who can actually, which country or organization can actually moderate or get into this and make Western countries and America and Russia to discuss and to find a solution? In your belief, what organization or country? How would you
I
think?
would say, I mean, it is a problem for Europe also. So they will try to solve, especially Germany and even the UN. I think the UN is the best institute to intervene and be a non-partisan actor in this conflict, because there are four parties involved: Ukraine, Russia, Europe with 27 countries, and America. So others are all observers or neutral people, which they cannot do anything about.
Do you think that China and India should say, or should very much in a clear voice, should say their voice? I mean, should say their stand on this issue, because they're really powerful countries in the world, in their respective regions, also in the global scale, in terms of the world economy, in terms of other important areas. Do you think China and India and also Brazil in South America,
Of course.
so these countries should say something about this affair? You think, in a more spotlight friendly way?
Yeah, when it comes to India, China, Brazil, and South Africa, and with Russia, they are in the BRICS group, okay, and IBSA, where India plays a key role with India, Brazil, and South Africa. So South Africa, India, China can play a neutral role as well as an active role, being a partner with Russia in this matter.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you, Anush, on this matter. They definitely can. Also, you should include South Africa and Brazil into this, because they are regional.
So what can they say, or what role they can play in mediating and making this more smooth?
They can be on the facilitation and as also conflict resolution roles, where conflict resolution models are applied to the Crimean problem. So it has to be a conflict resolution, conflict transformation, and stabilizing process through a democratic path. So a mechanism should be drawn up how to solve Crimea. That's the key issue there. When Crimea problem is solved, Ukrainian problem will be solved with Russia. So when the Russian problem is solved, I think that with the West and the other parties, it will be automatically solved. It has to be a fair game.
America has talked very much on this issue. Barack Obama and other important officials from American government.
Mm-hmm.
And you think America should have focused or played an important role with the EU and EU pressing, or European countries pressing Russia, or Russia and European countries come to an agreement, rather than America playing a very important role in this? You think America should have done that?
It is a must that America should get involved, because America is a key player and also partner with most of the European countries, and also they are in the UN permanent seats with Russia. So America has a role in this matter. So without America, I think it will be difficult to carry on with dialogues. So America must play a role to solve this problem. America was a solution provider to Bosnia-Herzegovina problem, I'm sure, and the Kosovo problem. I'm sure they can, with the partnership with both parties. I'm sure there's a way forward for this problem. Otherwise, globally, this factor will impact other countries, not only in Europe, even in Asia.
Let's talk about the Syrian issue. Syrian issue is still ongoing, to be honest. Do you think this is a world foreign policy blunder or mistake? Not in one country, the world as a whole.
I would say UN should have done more on this matter as a whole, and also responsible parties, which includes Russia, the US, and the European Union, could do for the people who suffer on these conflict regions. I'm sure there is a definite path, but there is also kind of irresponsible actors in the Syrian conflict. They do not want to be a part of the forums and peace missions. So it's not only the world. I mean, from the world bodies, it is also within Syria that it is failing. It's the people who are failing. The system is failing. So when the system fails, automatically outside interference